Welcome back to Romany Pirates. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode, the top 5 things to do in Ibiza. In this episode, we're going to take you around the island, show you some more beautiful places, some of the hippie markets that it's famous for, before we sadly have to say goodbye to the island and move on the rest of our European travels.
So, I had a nice shower, nice cold shower, trimmed my scraggly beard a little bit. So we're just heading now into town, into Escanar. A little place called Escanar, which is on the east coast of Ibiza, yeah, I think we're just going to go get some food. So I guess the first thing to say about Ibiza is it's obviously known for like clubland, but that's literally one tiny part of the island that's on the southwest coast called San Antonio, and the rest of the island is beautiful and magical, and they do a lot of yoga here and a lot of meditation, and it's a very kind of spiritual island. It's a peaceful island, believe it or not. The whole kind of club thing is kind of the other side of the island from where we're staying, and not a lot of people know that about Ibiza. Been into town, just been for something to eat. There's quite a lot of change, isn't there, since
there
last
is. There's quite a lot of places that have closed down, unfortunately, since COVID, I think. But there's still a lot that's open. Still a lot of our friends are still here, and so that's been really nice to sort of catch up with people again. But there is a lot of places that's a lot of shops that have shut and things like that, isn't there? More than
it's quite sad to see, really, because a lot of them were our friends that had little businesses, and there were a little juice bar, and everybody used to kind of socialise in there, and that's gone, which is that's a real shame.
So today we've come to a little quiet beach that we first discovered when we first ever came to Ibiza. It's in Santiagolia. It's just off the front coast. And on the beach is like a private little restaurant that you can go to as well. But it's a really, really quiet little kind of cove area with steps to go down into the sea so that you can have a swim. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really peaceful. If I can dig out any of the old images of when me and Reese were first ever here, sat up on the hills, I'll put them up for you if I can dig them out. We do look quite different back there. So we're going to spend the day here, and we're just going to hopefully have a bit of a paddle. I don't think we're going to be swimming today because it's the sea's pretty rough actually. And if you can hear in the background the kind of this buzzing noise, there's loads of insects here that when it gets really hot, they make noises, and we've been told it's where they use their wings or something to make this noise when it gets really hot. But they're so loud, it's unbelievable.
Some really cool walks around here, kind of up on the cliff sides, through the little trees and forests, and you've got absolutely incredible views right across the island with these beautiful mountains with forests on. The sea's absolutely crystal clear, like a turquoise blue. But these walks are absolutely epic. Follow me, I'll show you. So some of the places on this trip are places that we've found after coming here for years and years and years, and are very, very difficult to find. Like if you were just coming here on holiday for the first time, you probably won't find them because the locals here don't like people to know about it. So it's taken us years to build up enough trust with them to kind of tell us where these places are. Our beautiful island of Ibiza. It's breathtaking, there's no other word for it. If you were to come here and kind of not know where they are, it'd probably just feel like another place, but the true magic of Ibiza lies in knowing where these little places are. Many people across the island choose to live simple lives in caves, choosing to look at beautiful views as opposed to materialistic things, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Farron's always had a need to go off exploring when we've done van life, even as a child, and he discovered this cave years ago, so he took Reese up to show him.
I know, I've seen it, it's cool, isn't it?
It's really good. It's really cool.
We are in Santa Eulalia, which is a beautiful little place here in Ibiza. It's actually the first place we ever came to, Emma and I, when we first got to Ibiza, and we just fell in love with it straight away. It's absolutely beautiful.
So today we're heading off into Ibiza to have a look at the beautiful square and have a look around some of the shops, pick Farron up a new skateboard, and then off to do some skating in 40-degree heat, because that's normal. And then we're going to head off and go and explore some of the beautiful hippie markets that there are all across the island. There's plenty to see, plenty to look at, and loads of shopping to do. Just sat here by the sea, just enjoying a drink, having a look out. It's a beautiful night, absolutely beautiful night. And we just sort of sat, you know, like you do, contemplating your life's decisions and, you know, the things you'd do differently if you had the chance again. And I think that's a lot of the problem, is that we always look back, don't we? We'll look back at things and we think, what would we do differently, and how we might make different choices. And actually, you really need to look at the now. Look at the now. Look at the decisions that are in front of you now, the options that you've got now, and make those decisions for now moving forward. Don't look back and spend time thinking, could I have done things differently? How would I do things differently? Because that's gone. It's in the past, you know, and we spend our lives either looking backwards or just looking forwards. We never spend our time looking at the here and the now. If you sat there wondering whether there's different options in life, whether you can do things in a different way, just take the time right now to think about where you are now, what your options are now, and just make decisions. They don't have to be life-changing decisions, they don't have to be big decisions, but any little small decision that you make is like a butterfly effect. You know, you can make a small choice now to just go out for a walk, and you might bump into somebody that you've never met before that's going to offer you options that you never even knew existed. You know, and you just never know, you might encounter somebody that's going to change your path of your life for the future. Open your mind up to options, open your mind up to living differently, open your mind up to the fact that life doesn't have to be a 9 to 5.
We've come today to Cala, which is beautiful. It's like very Spanish, like mountains with trees covered like in every angle, and like your typical kind of white finca houses and stuff. It's a beautiful just little place really. It's a bit of a kind of seasidey place, is Cala, but it's got a beautiful little bay and a little kind of cove area. It's just really nice. This would be ideal if you like wanted to come to Ibiza and you had kids and stuff. There's a little play park and they've got like little markets here. It's almost kind of a like a holiday place in itself, is Cala, but it's one of the better ones, I'd say. Like, as you know, we're not really into kind of hotels and the whole kind of touristy bit, but if I were to say kind of to pick one, it would be Cala.
Farron absolutely hates sand. Ever since he's been a kid, he cannot stand being on the sand. Even if there's one grain of sand on him, he cannot bear it. And he manages usually to walk across like a whole beach without even getting one grain of sand on him. And he needs the bathroom, and what stands between him and the bathroom is sand.
Is it shut, Faz? It's not even open. All that and it's not even open. So as you've seen, there's these little markets all across Ibiza, like they're just absolutely everywhere, the hippie markets. Morning guys, so today we are going to check out a little secret beach area that one of the locals has told us to go to. They say that it's the gem of Ibiza, and apparently you walk in between these two shops and down some stairs apparently, and she said that it'll take your breath away. So we're going to go check that out now and see if it does.
That is beautiful.
So we've been coming to Ibiza all these years, and we never knew that this little bit were here. And it's really cool because you just kind of, you just walk straight past it. It's kind of a little passageway in between two shops, and you go down some steps, and it's completely hidden. There's just all these little hidden gems all across the island that you just never. It's one of those that you can never find them all. You know what I mean? But this is a great little spot. Is this? I can imagine, like, it's not flowered yet, but there's like all these flowers here, and when these flower, this would be absolutely incredible.
So we're here tonight at the Nagai restaurant. It is absolutely beautiful, beautiful place. Kind of feels a bit posh for me, but it's really beautiful. It's got a real kind of spirituality vibe about it. And we've come here tonight to meet the owner, who actually designed the Ibiza tarot deck. Reese has come to meet him specially, and they've been in communication for a while, so that he can get the part of the deck that is now no longer sold. So we've come to have a chat with him tonight. He's just absolutely blown our minds tonight. He's kind of done a reading for all of us, and just completely and utterly blown our minds with how accurate he was. Such a nice person, such a spiritual person, just such a beautiful place to come. So we've literally just made the ferry. We were sort of running around this morning, saying goodbye to everybody, which we didn't film because it's really sad. We absolutely hate leaving the island, we really do. It's just like home. And I always end up crying, and I always find it really difficult, no matter how long I'm there for, because I feel like that needs to be our base, and we need to be travelling from there. But anyway, we've made the ferry just. We're literally about 10 minutes to spare, so we're going to get on now and hopefully, fingers crossed, have a nice gentle ferry ride over to Valencia.
We've now left Ibiza, heading towards Valencia. I think this is the smoothest ferry crossing I've ever had. It's like one extreme to the other. There's even a swimming pool on it. And the island that you can see behind me is Verde, that we looked at from the doors in last week's episode. So we're seeing it sort of from the other side. We can see where we were sat. Sort of there. Yeah. Looking out, that's where the doors are. So as you'll have seen in last week's episode, this island is so much more than like nightclubs and kind of everything that it gets known for, really. It's the most spiritual place on earth. It really is beautiful, and there's so many hidden gems. There's so much that we haven't even explored even in like 10 years of coming to Ibiza, and it's just, you just have to come. I hope that kind of on these last kind of 2 vlogs that we've been able to give you somewhat of our experience over the last 3 weeks, but it's just so much more. And they say that, like, when you first get here, the locals tend to say to you, this island has called you for a reason, this island will teach you something, and it's just an amazing experience. And they reckon that the island is kind of alive. Because of Verde, they believe that there's a magnetic energy, as we described last week, and they say that if you don't find what they call the hidden Ibiza, the island hasn't called you, but if you do find the hidden Ibiza, then they say the island has called you. So Daisy's fast asleep in a little playpen in a bag.
Reese was saying to me earlier, he's like, you're gonna come on camera and like speak to people and, you know, tell them how crossing's going. But I've been in a real mood. When I leave Ibiza, it's like I've left my home, and I know a lot of people might not understand that. A lot of people go on holiday and it's just a holiday for them, and they say, oh yeah, it's a lovely place, and they come home and that's it. And it's not like that for me. Every time I go, it's like I'm going home when I go there. As soon as I get there, I feel like that's where I belong. The closer that we drive, the more almost like I've experienced it the worst it can be now, and so I feel a little bit more confident, if that makes sense. Sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? I thought I'd be in a real state getting on, but I feel a little bit more confident now. So yeah, we're just looking forward now to getting into Spain, into Valencia, going exploring some places. Can't wait to get to the thermal baths and do that, and we'll just, as usual, we have no plan on where we're going, so we'll just discover it when we get there.
Got off the ferry and headed for Lidl. always towards Lidl. So now we're in Valencia city centre. It's absolute crazy here. They don't seem to pay attention at all to speed limits. It's just, I can't even describe it. Absolute chaos in it. So it's quite late. I don't know what time it is. It's probably about 9 o'clock at night now. We've got the whole like France and Spain that we can explore, but we're not sure where to start first.
As promised, here's a look back at our history of 10 years in Ibiza. Enjoy.
You're on film, sweetheart. You just look cool now with glasses on. Let me see if I can get us both in the film. Hang on. Oh. This is our honeymoon. In Ibiza. Hello.
We've taken you on a journey through to Ibiza to share it with you and share all the things that we love about it, so we thought we'd share our history with you as well. So here's a look back, 10 years, everything that we've done, all the things that we've enjoyed, and I hope you really enjoy looking back at some of these funny photographs and how we've changed and developed over the years.
Our love for Ibiza has never changed. Keep writing your own story, guys. See you next week, 8 PM on Monday.
Thanks ever so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.